DoubleLift, sorry for your loss, but that means that you're now unfortunately out of contention for the quarterfinals. Now you guys started out this World Championship so strong, 2 wins in a row, and now you end 2-4. What do you think was sort of, happened in the interim to go from 2 wins to now 4 losses in a row?
Well, our first 2 games were versus Flash Wolves and Coup, and I feel like we showed a lot of our hand against. Sorry, let me redo that. It was. Our first 2 wins were versus Flash Wolves and Pain, and I feel like we showed a lot of our hand versus Pain, and a little bit versus the Wolves. I think against the Wolves we just showed Jinx. We're like, okay, we play Lulu Jinx, and Jinx is really OP. And then they started playing Jinx, and they won like every game with it. And then versus Pain, I think we played like literally the exact same, even versus a weaker team, and it just. I guess where our strategy wasn't dynamic enough, and mostly we just got completely screwed against Coup early game, both games. Then after that, I'd say a combination of maybe some tilting, and to be honest, it's like not much to say. We literally just got out-strategized, like all of the losses. Minus the last one, we were kind of maybe, like we were trying really hard, but our picks, we were just picking fun champs, like Bard and Vayne.
Now you said maybe a little bit of tilting. Would you say that, do you think that the format might have affected that? The fact that it was 3 games in one day as opposed to the first half it was 3 games over 3 days? Do you think there might have been some space to regain your mentality if it hadn't been like this?
Maybe, but I don't really like to dwell on what ifs, like what if it was a different format, what if it was a different situation, because we were presented with this situation, we had all the time to prepare for it, and it's not like, oh damn, we got unlucky. Like, no, we actually just like lost to Coup twice, we lost to Flash Wolves in a really important match, and then like the Pain game, whatever, the Brazilian fans are gonna be like, ha ha ha, like Brazil's better than NA, and then the NA fans are gonna be like, well, Silji clearly wasn't trying, and I'll just say like our picks were kind of unstandard, not standard. So, yeah, like dwelling on us is kind of just an excuse. It's like we prepared really hard for this test, okay, and it's test day, and we fucked up. So even if we had won, let's say like we got really lucky and they like underprepared for us, and we won, went to London, I still think we would probably have lost there because there's just like we just had problems that need a lot of time to fix.
Sure. Now, you said the picks were non-standard in the last game, but leaving that last game aside, a lot of teams have been saying that, and a lot of teams and a lot of coaches have been saying that at this event in particular, pick ban is very, very important because of not only because of the variety of the champions, but because how much it can dictate the pace of a game. Do you feel that CLG's champion select, how do you think about your champion select so far this event?
Wow, so this is actually very true. I think the #1 like highlight of this World Championship is gonna be picks and bans. Drafting is just so important and gotten to the point where it can actually just win or lose you the game, even if your team is worse. So, like, for example, against Flash Wolves, and Flash Wolves is better, but they also have an amazing pick and ban where against us, where they played LeBlanc, Jinx, Morg. And that was, like, extremely frustrating for us to play against because usually we're the ones playing LeBlanc, Jinx, Morg. So, I guess one thing that we didn't do well was identify, like, what is the comp we want to run? Because in NA, we can get away with going ambiguous pick and bans where we can like morph it into whatever we want. Against world-class teams, they'll just take your comp or they'll quickly identify what's OP and then just snatch it away. So I like really think that Jinx and Morg are going to be really high priority picks throughout Worlds. And it's kind of like sad for me because I'm a really good Jinx player, but I didn't get a chance to pull it out except for our win against Flash Wolves. Yes. But I'm kind of rambling. It's just, yes, I agree. Picks and bans are a really big part of it. But in quarters and semis, I think that usually the teams that made it there have consistent pick and bans, so it will be like more even. You won't see one team outdraft the other.
Sure. I just want to delve a little bit deeper into the pick and ban. Now, you said Jinx as a priority pick for you guys. We know it was a priority pick for the Flash Wolves, and NL had a lot of success on that champion. Did you guys not feel like it was worth banning out in this game?
Well, we had seen that they beat Coup the first time with Jinx, and, well, oh, actually, wait, I lied. Fuck, I'm so dumb. They didn't, let me restart that question. Holy shit, they beat him with Bears. God, I have absolutely no idea why we didn't pick Jinx. I don't know. I think we were scared of Malphite But in the end, we should have just banned Malphite because Malphite screwed us anyway. So, I mean, it's just a lot of like, oh, we should have done this. And it's a lot of just, I don't even have regrets. It's just, I learned from that experience, you know? I don't like to think back and be like, damn, we should have done this. Like, yeah, that's true, but nobody has the power of time travel. So I'll just say I'm learning from those memories. And if I could go back in time, then I would tell us, let's play Jinx Morg. Me and Afro have like never lost that lane ever. And it's extremely strong in the meta. I think the only answer to Jinx right now would be like a sort of Malphite dive in the back comp because she's an immobile AD carry. But she's just so broken in lane and team fighting. And I think other AD carries, like world-class AD carries, can play her just as well as me. So they've like kind of unlocked that level. Like you need a certain mechanical level to be able to play her in team fights without dying. And NL's surprisingly good. Like I'm not going to lie. Our scouting on the Flash Wolf said NL is a weaker mechanical AD carry. He'll play utility stuff. And then Kramer is the Korean AD carry that has better mechanics but worse communication. Like that's the trade-off that they use. It turns out NL is actually really good. And even though we won lane, it's like didn't really matter because we just got out-comped.
Now you brought up the Malphite. You banned that in the first 2 games. Is there something about the way that you guys play that makes Malphite sort of a priority ban? And you said it kind of screwed you guys in this game against Flash Wolves. Can you sort of explain, why you think that Malphite works so good against CLG?
Yeah, sure. So current iteration CLG, Pobelter usually plays burst mids. This is because the sustain damage mids, usually like Azir, you want to play off of them and get them ahead. Burst damage mids like Victor, you can kind of leave them alone and then they'll just show up later in team fights and do like a certain chunk of damage. Burst damage mids actually suck against Malphite because he's just so tanky. And then the other part of CLG is that we play usually off bottom lane. So Zion, he usually plays carry champs, and then we draw jungle pressure bottom lane. But Malphite's TP is so strong, so if you play 3v3 bottom lane, even though when 3v3, the TP from Malphite makes it a 4v4 or a potential 4v3, and it's an unwinnable situation because they also counterpicked Afro's support. They counterpicked Alistar with Morgana, which is like our counterpick to Alistar, and it was just like, damn, they're really smart. They know the game just as well as we do, and we didn't respect that. So we lost because our game plan fell apart.
Sure. Now, seeing as this was, the culmination of you guys winning the North American LCS, sort of, I assume that this is an unsatisfying conclusion, but do you say that, what do you feel overall how you performed as an individual this year as opposed to the other years of your career and, your CLG performed in your eyes, taking into account the whole year?
Well, I'm really proud of my entire team for sure. I think everyone is a better person. And like in the end, that's all that matters because you can take home more money, you can take home a bigger achievement or whatever. But the only thing that's going to stick with you is really just having a learning experience and being a better person. I don't know. Like I feel like since considering last year when like Link Angry left the team and we were like relegated and then we had all these internal problems and then like 17 pages and stuff, it was like, yeah, I think I learned how to be a much better teammate. I'm not the perfect teammate, but I think all of us just developed into better versions of ourselves. And it is unsatisfying, like for sure, but it's also kind of satisfying to know that we made so much progress. Like to go from relegations to winning at Madison Square Garden and 3-0ing TSM, our biggest rivals. Like I think CLG is finally, for sure we're relevant again. We made Worlds, and that's like a big milestone. And also, it's like, it's about the rate at which you accelerate, right? So like for example, take TSM and Cloud9 for example. They have set the standard for themselves the last 3 years. They made Worlds, and like they're expected to do better each time. Like we did way better since last year. So I just think, the sky's the limit, and we can do whatever we want next year, and I think we'll succeed.
Sure. So what do you think the future is for yourself personally? Does this mean we'll see you on the analyst desk, or is it back to NA to start preparing for next year?
Oh God, I am actually down to hang around Worlds and do the analyst desk because each time I do it, I learn a little bit more about the game and learn a little bit more about the scene. And I just love esports, like I love Worlds. I wouldn't volunteer my time to do the analyst desk the last 2 years if I didn't really just like love this experience and want to be a part of it. So I'll do it if they'll let me. I'll definitely ask, but otherwise like I'll just go home and I'll watch, and yeah, that's about it. That's about all I can do, Yeah.
Just to close out, what do you think are the dream matchups for yourself to learn and to watch that could be coming up in the future of this Worlds?
Wow, I really hope Imp makes it out of groups. So, because I still think he's the best AD carry, and in scrims, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, scrims. Oh, it's like, well, it's Worlds, so like, it's the 16 best teams in the world scrimming each other, and he's the only AD carry that I can actually watch any game and be like, wow, he's consistently like amazing, and he's someone that I can learn from. Other than that, yeah, like, I'd just say Imp, because all the other carries have kind of been underwhelming, and I don't want to like talk trash after we went 0-3 in one day, but yeah, I don't really think any other AD carries really stand out. And when it comes down to it, AD carry skill is not indicative of a victory anyway. So, what you gonna do?
Thanks so much.